So best friends got each other's back. We used to cruise around with a bass to the max. Everyone at school while I was in the lab, cooking up some beats that would turn into tracks. High school chillin', I was on a mission. I had bigger dreams of being a musician. Teachers always talked but I couldn't seem to listen. I lived in a fantasy land, they called it fiction. But I was gonna be big one day, playing shows on the road to a sold out stage. Nobody really cared or believed I would make it anywhere close, I would fail and fade. But that's cool, I love that, cause any little doubt gives me energy back. And now, I'm in a place where I'm glad I never gave up on the dreams I had. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. Yeah, let's go. So if you want something big, you gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing.
Took a big swing.
So what is up, guys? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 43. I'm here with my guys, Coach Ed Glandy. Oh wow, Coach Ed down there. Next to Andy and Blaze Radio. You guys switched up on me. I was like, wait, I had everything memorized in it. So how's everyone doing?
Good.
Weather's weird here, man. 2 days ago I had my heat on. Now I got my air conditioning on.
It's so nice here, man.
That time of the year.
It's so nice here where I'm at. So nice. I'm actually listening to the Phillies game as we're doing this. So if I scream, if we hit a home run, that's what I'm doing. Listening to the Phillies. So we're like, yay, got the
Don't scream Bomer.
Bomer. Yeah, Bomer. We need a homer. It works. He hits homers. So let's get it started. I actually thought this was kind of funny. Dylan Brooks.
Dylan the villain.
He gets kicked out, ejected for the first game.
Dylan the villain.
Like, that's the funniest thing to me. How do you guys feel? I wish Rios was here because I wanted to be like, how do you feel about it? Like,
there's
really.
always players like that, and I'm sure Coach will reiterate what I have to say. There's always the guys that like causing trouble. They get in people's heads. They like to play the mind games. They like to be the villain, and that's all part of sports, man. I was never like that, but I've always played against people like it, and you got to have a strong mind to get past someone who's out there to get you off your game mentally.
I grew up watching guys like that, Bruce Bowen and Rajah Davis type of guy. Not Rajah Davis.
Rajon Rondo?
Rajon Rondo.
No. All right, it'll come back to me. But guys like that get under your skin and try to throw you off your game, so you take bad shots or you make stupid plays, and then you get in foul trouble, and then they're sitting there laughing. But right now, it looks like it's the reverse psychology. It's working against him, and it's just making him look like a bad player. I mean, I saw the play. He nutted the guy. He took his freaking arm in his fist and balled up and hit him in the groin. Like,
there's a limit.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but you also develop a perception across the league. So then officials are looking at you with a wide eye because they're expecting you to cross the line.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was the guy that was saying, "Oh, after what happened with him and the Grizzlies, like they just cut him." That I thought he wouldn't come back because
Yeah.
I knew he would do this. He was dancing already, and what did he do? He gets ejected.
It's just, some people aren't going to change. That's just the way they are, and that's how they play the game. And you just got to accept it. And he calls himself Dylan the villain, so it's like he knows
Yeah,
what he's
but
doing.
here's the thing, though. He wasn't doing it throughout his whole career.
Yeah.
He started it like in the middle of last year.
Well, like Coach says, he now has that persona. So sometimes they feel they got to live up to it. And he knows if it works. Like he was successful with it. He got into people's heads. I mean, you can't do illegal stuff over and over because, like you said, now the league will catch you. The league is going to catch him and be like, just like it did like Draymond. Draymond was like that too.
Yeah.
So was Stevenson from when he was. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to Dennis Rodman was actually like that.
Lambeer, there's a lot of guys that love
Yeah.
to cause problems and be the villain. Good guys and bad guys and everything.
Reggie Miller.
Raja Bell. That's what his name was. Raja
Oh!
Bell.
Yeah, Raja Bell. Okay.
You can only hope to contain him. I love that guy,
I know you
man.
can't
That
wait
was
to
my
talk about
dad's,
this.
one of my dad's favorite players because of that slogan. But it's crazy. Oh, shout out to my guy Sports PSP. Shout out to you, man, for this question. Actually, DM me on Twitter. I have a question for you. But thoughts on Ben Simmons having a comeback year? What do you guys think? Whoever Randy.
We talked about this before, man. And with the talent he has, if he can snap back into it, he could be comeback player of the year because everyone hates, most people, I should say, everyone doesn't hate him. And every year we start seeing he's shooting threes before the season. You know, every year we get this, ooh, he's going to come back. But if he does, what a story that would be. He doesn't have to score 30 points. He doesn't have to be all NBA. But if he comes back and is that role player that he can be, it's a great comeback, in my opinion.
Definitely is. If he can just come back and just be a key contributor for the Nets, like you said, he doesn't have to be that, 30 points a game scorer. He just contributes, rebounds, plays defense. That's all the Nets really need him to do.
Yeah. Randy?
Yeah, absolutely, man. When you sit there and you look at their roster, I mean, Dinwiddie, Bridges, Finney, Royce O'Neal, Claxton. Then you got him. Then they went and got Lonnie Walker. They still have Cam Johnson. They got Darius Baisley as a backup center. They got Dennis Smith as a backup point guard. And then you got the young guys like Cam Thomas and De'Aaron Sharp. So it's like, as long as he understands his role and he can come in and fit in, I agree with what everybody said. Yeah.
For me, it's just like, yes, he can do that. I've seen him shoot. For me, it's a big time moment. What is he going to do in the big time moments? Is he going to crumble? Is he going to shoot off the back side of the backboard, which he did already? So I'm just waiting for the big time. If he has a good season, a very good season, a comeback worthy season, I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I am. But for me, I just need to see him in big time moments because Blaze and I know what he did against the Hawks.
He's got to prove. He's got to prove it. You're right. He's got to prove it. He's got to go out there and do it. But if there's anybody in the NBA that has to want to prove everyone wrong, you got to think it's him. Would you like to be that guy who everyone's saying shouldn't be in the NBA, shouldn't be on the team, ain't worth a shit? I mean, he's got to want to prove everyone wrong. And that's like, even Arku says, that's the persona everyone has. They're tired of talking about him. He's a bum. But there's a reason he's still on a team.
Yeah.
The talent's still there. Maybe he's been in the wrong scenario over and over and over. Maybe the wrong coaching system. Maybe they're not. I mean, maybe go back to when he was in college and find out what made him so versatile and good in college. Or maybe he's done. Maybe he is a flop.
It kind of reminds me of Markelle Fultz. Remember everything that happened to him? He had a jump shot, and then the free throw, he like bobbles it, and then he just. Now he revived his career. He's arguably one of the best guards, and they have many guards on that team.
But look what happened, though. Smaller market team, not a lot of eyes, in a sense that, not a lot of TV time. So he was able to kind of get out of the limelight and work on his craft instead of being in the limelight and being criticized for it, so that when he does do something wrong, it magnetized tenfold versus when he does do something good, you're always saying, well, what's going to happen next? Wait for that other shot to come off. So you're right. Maybe, like Blake said, maybe this changes scenery and he sees the writing on the wall. This is his last opportunity.
What's our problem, Marku, that we're positive about an NBA player making a comeback? I mean, someone who's very good at what he does through high school, college, and then not that. I mean, maybe he's not in the right scenario. I don't understand. What's our problem?
It's because what he did for the Sixers, what he did over there, that's our problem, he's saying, I think.
Oh, the problem with the Sixers or the problem with us here hoping that he does well? The organization. All right. I was like, Arku's normally cool. That's the weird scenario. Yeah. I don't know. I like, just like I've talked about John Zion, I'm rooting for these dudes, man. I don't have a hard time as an athlete that failed a million times and couldn't make it through, college, to say that a professional sports player sucks. Why are they professional then? There's bad and good players, of course, but it's hard to watch someone year after year like this just, not seem to have it. But a lot of times it doesn't take much to click, and there's that talent back, and he can facilitate and help. There's talent on that Nets team with him.
Also, it's also player utilization. How do they utilize them? Some coaches, they have a perception, or Blaze, some coaches will try and fit you into a cookie box when that's not your skill, that's not your ability, but that's their system and that's what they want.
Yeah, they try to put a square peg into a circle. So yeah, you're right. At some point, is the player right for the system?
Coaches come in, like you said, Randy, have their system, and they think, where does this player fit in that system? He might not. We saw that over and over with him, and I can't give up with him. I just want to see. I love when Wally talks about the ref will watch elbow checks, fouls, and block. Yes, they will, Wally. I love when he's Captain Obvious.
Yeah.
What's up, Brad?
And Blaze, you brought up a point where you want to see players do well, and that's going to actually go to my next topic, and that is Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. They had a battle, and it was very good. I think Wembanyama.
Skinny boys are coming to the NBA, baby.
Yeah, Wembanyama with the deer headbutt. Knocking Chet Holmgren down.
He's like, that is unstoppable. A headbutt is unstoppable. I saw that quote. I'm like, I can't really headbutt.
How do you guys feel about Wembanyama and Chet after that game? I know it's just one game, but they did play against NBA talent.
Well, let me flip exactly what I said. I remember Coach said it maybe last week. Being that skinny can be a huge detriment when you're playing against big, huge guys too. I mean, as talented as they are, and I know that the struggle of being a skinny dude and can't put on weight. I'm sure those guys are trying to put on weight, but that's just the way they're built. Their metabolism. I mean, they're in weight programs in the NBA. They have to try ways to put weight on these guys, and if they can't, I think they're more susceptible to injury because of that. Unfortunately.
Yeah. It's also how you develop their bodies. What type of weight training program? What do you have these guys eating and growing and developing? Sometimes teams try to put they try to put weight on guys, but they're doing it the wrong way. So you really have to break down what these kids are capable of handling on their body to be developed, to be, strong enough to handle the rigors of playing in the NBA, because it's not easy.
How old are they? Let's talk about that real quick too, because sometimes some kids are late bloomers. I mean, maybe they will gain some more weight late in a year or two, but how old are they? They're both young, right?
Wemby is 19.
Yeah, that's kids.
18, 19. Chet, I think it's like 20, 21.
Yeah, that's babies.
And it's been reported that Chet's put on like 10 to 12 pounds of muscle in the offseason while he was working out to rehab. So,
and that's a lot for a skinny dude like him.
Yeah, that is. But the deer took him out. That wasn't enough to shame the deer.
And mind you, they only played the first half. They didn't touch the floor in the second half either. So
right.
Preseason, I wouldn't play him too much.
Did you see when Wemby was under the end, there was Chet Holmgren? He just put the ball back like it was nothing. And Chet's a very tall guy.
Those two dudes are going to be able to do phenomenal things with the wingspan and with the lengthy, stuff. I mean, they're phenomenons if they can find a way to, like Coach said, put on the right weight, stay that way, and be able to handle the bumps and bruises, because they're not point guards. Let's be real. They're not standing on the outside. They can shoot, but I'm just saying they're going to be inside banging with big dudes a lot.
Yeah.
Pause. But that's exactly they gotta toughen up, and they're babies still, man.
Yeah.
We'll see.
And don't the Thunder, don't they have also another big guy named Pulfaszewski or Puta?
Yep. Pokusevski,
Yeah, so it's like, look at all that length over there, man. Like, scary team.
I forgot to fix my stream elements.
SGA.
Shout out to Cool Cat. I'm still forgetting about that. But yeah, someone was talking in the chat. I think it was our crew or teacher at game about Boston. They don't think they're a scary team. What do you guys think?
It's a matter of their depth because
Yeah.
you're gonna. I'll be honest. I have concerns about Porzingis because they're really building their whole team around Porzingis. And if he goes down, what do you have behind him? Are you going to go with damn, what's his name? He used to play for the Knicks too, as a big guy, but
Al Horford.
No,
Al
he
Horford
didn't.
never played for the Knicks.
What's up, David Corona?
No, number 40 for Boston. I forgot his name. Damn it.
Oh, that's gonna bother me now. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Go ahead, I'll find out.
Damn, what's his name?
He's on his
It begins with a K too.
Luke Cornett.
Yeah,
Kristaps.
Cornett.
Luke
Cornett.
Cornett.
Kristaps. Dang.
Yeah, if Kristaps goes down, are you going to rely on Cornett? That's basically what you're going to have to do because he's playing behind him, and that changes their whole team structure. If he goes down, if Porzingis goes down, to be honest with you, I'm sorry, I'm not wishing it on anybody, but I do expect him to go down for a significant part of the season for them. You know, he might play 40, barely 50 games.
They lost their heart and soul in the offseason when they traded away Marcus Smart. They lost their depth when they made the move for Porzingis. Like, I don't understand all the stuff they did. Like, if anything, like you said, Coach, they handcuffed themselves and are really expecting a lot from the younger kids. I mean, shoot, if we're talking about them now, they signed Peyton Pritchard to a big time contract, so they're also expect a big step up from him. So
he's shooting the lights out right now, though. I'll tell you that much. He's shooting the lights out.
Keep him in mind for the fantasy basketball draft. Keep Peyton Pritchard in mind for 3 points.
But I think as long as you got Tatum and Brown healthy and a decent surrounding, they're contenders.
Drew Holiday.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday is not even he's so much better than Derek White, but he's so much better than Marcus Smart. So the heart and soul is still a big thing, but I feel like with Drew Holiday with that defense, can you imagine that backcourt defense with Drew Holiday and Derek White and then throw Jaylen Brown in there?
Yeah, but there's one thing that I get it in terms of talent on the court talent. He is better, but you cannot ignore when you have a player who's the heart and soul of a team. He wills the team. He wills the other players. He helps them step up. Who is that guy on this team right now?
That's going to be their big question. I agree.
My guess.
Who fills that role of Smart?
If I had to guess, Jaylen Brown. It's either going to be Jaylen Brown or not Kristaps. No,
I would say Derek White. I think a veteran guy like Derek White needs to step up. Look what he did in the playoffs for them last year. Had that big shot against Miami so.
You got to think the Celtics know this and know that they're missing that heart and they need someone to step up, and that is going to be a big part of their success this year. They had to be prepared for it.
I have a dark horse, Al Horford. Because look how long he's been there 2 times, right? He's
seen it all.
The best whenever he's on Boston. Like, they'll look to him for veteran leadership. I could see Al Horford. But I think it's going to be Jaylen Brown and Derek White.
Maybe it's a team as a collective. They've learned from Smart. They've seen what he's done, and they know how it affected the team. Maybe they all start playing a little bit more like Smart, and they keep that unit. I don't know. We're going to see, man. It's going to be fun to watch them try to keep what they had last year.
That game brings up a good point. Seeing Springer block Jason Tatum. Did you see that, Blaze?
It's one play in a preseason.
I know, but it means like Springer is there, and then Tatum just like
Springer does look like he could be a guy. I agree, and I like that.
Guys, go check
My
out the
night butt's
website.
going. My night butt's going. I never turn mine off. I leave it go.
Yeah, but sometimes I have different timers on. So
There's a
that's
new
like-
Nightbot feature where you can do a command dad joke and it tells a funny, corny dad joke. I got to figure that one out.
Oh,
That's on my
God.
level right there, boy.
Oh my God, I can't wait for that.
Safe.
I think a lot of teams, the same as, I mean, you talk about the Celtics, the Heat are going to have to, try to, contend with losing a couple of very big pieces. Even though I don't like him, if we lose Harden, we're going to have to try to contend as Sixers without, one of the greatest players in the last 20 years. So it's something that a lot of teams are facing. But right now, I'm not looking. I just can't wait to see how the East unfolds, because it's like we talked about. It could be a handful of teams that could be jumping up into that next level this year. We don't know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I'm gonna share the screen here. Blaze, here's one of your pictures you sent me. It's about the eras.
Huh?
It's this
Hey,
one.
TRL's in the building.
What is up, TRL?
Oh.
This one?
Oh, yeah. We always talk about not comparing eras. But when I saw this, I was like, this kind of sums it up on who was. And I mean, I don't know if there's anybody I would change in these eras and who would be the 20s. But right now, this kind of explained to me how we were talking about. I don't like to compare eras, but to me, this is what I think of when I think of 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. These are the guys.
Mm.
I mean, I guess you're looking at winning. So
You could always move a couple around, but I think this kind of sums it up to me.
Yeah,
it spoke to me.
That's what that means, Mitch. That this is about the winning. Yeah.
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 So, man,
What's up, AK?
AK's
What is
now.
up, AK? What is
Our
up, man? I can't think of anyone else.
But it also has changed. I mean, that's what I
Oscar
don't like.
Roberts. Oscar
The
Robert.
Big O would definitely be
yeah.
one. But but who would be the 20s? Like right now, we're only 3 years into it. We got to look into the future and prospect who might be a great one that we look back of. So, like as you see here, no one's duplicated. So you can't say Curry, you can't say LeBron. Obviously, he wouldn't be. But would it be Giannis? Would it be him? Could it, Giannis is the first one that come to my mind because he's been consistent all 3 years we've had in the 20s.
What about Jokic?
Jokic will be another one. So it could be the Giannis and Jokic era. If those two stay throughout this, that's a great call.
Yeah, it's not Embiid. I hate to say that, but it's not.
No, because we're looking at the whole decade.
Yeah.
Who was great consistently or mostly consistently through that whole decade.
Dude's going. He's like, what about the 50s? Kusi and
That's good. Mike and
Yeah.
Kusi. That's
George
good.
Mikan, right? George Mikan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
call. Teacher got game, knows his history. I dig it.
Yeah, he's a very diehard basketball fan. He's a good supporter as well. Appreciate you,
Absolutely.
bro. But so if you took winning out of it, right? I'm just thinking of the players that are like making most impact during that time. So if you look at 2000s, if you take Kobe and Duncan out to take errors or winnings out, I could put Iverson there.
I was going to say that you're going to go Iverson, and I love him too, but nah, I can't put him above Duncan or Kobe.
No.
Look
I'm
at-
not taking him off. I'm not putting him above. I'm just saying if you did not
If you're going to add another one, you're saying that doesn't have to do with winning? Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to say? Okay,
I would put Iverson there.
fair. He did make a big
Iverson,
impact.
McGrady.
What about changing the game?
Yeah, like
When-
a Olajuwon.
I mean, to be honest, why isn't Shaq also inclusive in there anywhere?
Where would you put him, and who would you put him over?
So
I think he is. But yeah, I think he is too. But as much as I loved Shaq, and you're right, he was dominant. There's hardly any players that big, that dominant. It's hard to put him over Duncan and Kobe because of their success
Oh.
consistently.
Isaiah Thomas, that's a good one.
Isaiah, I mean, he has 2 titles too. So if you're going to throw someone, who would you? Here's another question: is you see 2 in each one, but only MJ, and I can't argue with that because MJ's the man to me. But who else would you put with MJ in the 90s?
Hakeem.
Olajuwon?
Yeah, because he's the one who stepped up when Jordan was around and grabbed some rings. Yeah, true, and he was dominant throughout.
So
I can't argue with that.
it's only about winning championships because Dr. J
This
in the
list.
70s, Dr. J didn't win any championships in the 70s.
No, this isn't champ. This is just about success through a 10-year
that's
period.
That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
when you talk about Shaq, and it's also about like Wilt change. If you go back to the 60s, Wilt changed the game
Oh,
because
Phillies.
Harper just went yard.
Oh, it's going. It's
Oh my
going. It's going.
Dude,
It's gone.
yo, I'm terrified to play y'all. Jeez.
Let's go. Harper,
Might be your
2
year.
home runs. We're up
Might be your guys'
7-1.
year.
I couldn't argue
No.
putting Shaq on here though, Coach. I couldn't argue.
oh,
at all.
and that's what I'm saying because
Yeah.
Wilt has how many NBA championships? 1, 2. You know, so it's like Russell, we know, was dominant, but Wilt changed. Number one, remember the lanes themselves were not as expanded as they
Yeah.
are now, and
True.
and he stood in he used to stand in the lanes to just literally just finger roll into the basket. I mean, I get it, I understand. That's why I need to know what is the criteria to come at this because Shaq just.
That's
It's
what-
hard. And yes, you guys are right because they're only given 2. But then you put MJ, he's only by himself. So to me, that just says, well, there is no set number unless I
No.
know what the criteria is. 'Cause
I say to me, it's decade dominance. Who is good for that entire decade? Like if you say who's the man of the '80s, who else do you think of at Magic and Bird? Yeah, those are the first 2 that would come to my
Yeah,
mind.
those are the first 2, right?
So you just said the magic word, dominance. Shaq was dominant.
Yeah, like I said, I
Yeah.
could not agree. But where do you put him? Not 2000s with Kobe and Duncan?
You're
I
gonna
mean, I
have
get
to.
that you're gonna have to because he was with
Yeah.
Kobe during that time.
Yep.
So that's why it's like to me, it's first of all, what's the criteria to get to this? Is it no more than 2 players? Then okay, then you can't, like you said, who are you going to replace Shaq with?
I'd just throw him in there with MJ in the late 90s. There you go. MJ and Shaq for the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, he did dominate when he first came out of LSU.
He was ripping
mean-
backboards down when he first came in. They had to change how they like you said, they changed the lane for people. They changed how they made the backboards because of him and the rims.
Actually, no, they started that with Chocolate Thunder with Daryl
True.
Dawkins.
And Jerome Lane.
Because remember back then there was no breakaway, and then they
Yeah.
transitioned to the breakaway rim. So, but yes, I get what you're saying. You had to make the stand because Shaq would bring the whole stanchion down. So
Yes.
you had to strengthen it with him. And like you said, big man, 300+ pound man, can run, can fly, can dunk.
He can
only
rap.
Yeah. So but I mean, it's hard to argue anyone here. It really is. Plus don't forget the rules of the games have changed throughout the course too. So
That's why I say don't compare years, but if you think of whose era they were, this is what I imagined. But the real reason I wanted this to say who would be the 20s, like who might be the 2 names when it comes to
Still
2031 that we're going to say were the people of the 20s.
it's still too early, man.
A long time. Yeah, it's a long time to tell. Very early.
Steve, oh my
Bless you.
god.
Steve Kerr, he meant, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured.
Raleigh's just naming some of his favorite players that he liked in those eras.
Yeah, I can see that.
I speak Waleese.
Speak Wally. I mean, I wish I could say Garnett. I wish I could.
I mean, when Garnett came around, I mean, just like Shaq, there was big dudes before Shaq, but there wasn't anybody that did everything Shaq did as a huge guy, like Coach just said. And Garnett, you see, man, what's this guy? He's super tall, super thin, but he could do everything. He can dribble. So, I mean, that's like almost half of the NBA now.
what's
What's
good,
up,
man?
Kay?
What's good?
What's up, Kaji?
So, TRL, what do you think about this?
So, I'm still kind of confused on the criteria. It's
There's
not
no criteria. It's just whose era is it?
okay.
really-
So it's not championships. It's just
No.
dominant throughout an entire era. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm.
So for 90s, if we were to add a second person, I would put Hakeem on there, but because he did step up when MJ retired, so I will say that. Other than that, I mean, I agree with everything else. I mean, for the most part, but I mean, I could understand an argument with, putting Shaq in the 2000s, but 2000s you had a lot of guys, so it's kind of hard to pick, in between. But
You had a lot of guys in the 90s too, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just that MJ won those damn 6 championships, so it's kind of hard to argue. But I mean, you could say Stockton and Malone.
So I was just going to say, it took the words out of my mouth.
So it's kind of hard to. Heck, I'll even say, you could say Seattle with the Glove and the Rain Man up there.
Yeah, Kemp.
It's hard to say who dominated, because in the 90s, MJ stands by himself. I have to be honest. I mean, but you can go through the list in the East. I mean, you still had the Celtics in the 90s with Parrish, McHale, and Bird. Even though MJ dominated. Heck, the Knicks with Ewing. I mean, Ewing didn't win a championship, but the Knicks dominated during that era.
Yep.
So again, we can go out west.
Weber with Giddy, look how.
But all those names you guys are naming, all those guys you're naming, I think are a little bit below the names that are on the screen. They're great, but they're not complete era. That's the point. Would be, would you put one of those names over who's on the screen? And I can't put too many except for maybe Shaq up there.
No, I was just saying on the 90s, you could add 2 MJ if you wanted to add an extra one, because we're saying the only one we're talking about is Hakeem, and maybe
Karl
Malone.
Malone.
I would Malone. I have to if it's Malone, I have to. It's always to me Stockton and Malone.
Stockton, they're together.
It's just again, it's hard. I mean, somebody mentioned Isaiah Thomas. I mean, the Bad Boys. I mean, the Jordan rules. I mean,
you're gonna pick one from the Pistons when they won those back-to-backs. It's Isaiah led the team.
So
I see someone. Yep, I was gonna say Dirk, just because of that.
He's up
for that win, for that championship ring he got against that team, against the Miami Heat. They swept the Lakers.
It's 1 year. This is
I know
a
it's 1 year, but it was a very impactful year.
Yes, it was. I'm not disagreeing. But when you think of an era, it's a 10-year period, is I guess where we're going with it. When we look back, when we're all 90 years old doing this podcast.
You're saying one championship, but he was dominant during a 10-year period, wasn't he?
But he doesn't trump the 2 in that list.
Okay, that's fair.
That's all I'm saying. There's a lot of names that are just a step below those names, but if you think of that era, those are the 2 names that come to mind for most people. And
then that means it's only Shaq for that era then.
Yeah, agreed. Further, it's happening.
So this is another one Bleed sent me.
Yeah, this is Harden's big mouth when he said Giannis had no skill. Now look what's happened since that.
Yeah. That's actually hilarious.
It is kind of funny when you look at it. Now, not taking anything away from the things that Harden accomplished. I'm just saying, when you come out and tell someone they has no skill, you're lighting a fire under that young kid, Giannis. And not that that's the only reason he did this shit, but that's pretty eye-opening on where those 2 careers went since that.
Should have been Book holding that fucking trophy. All right, my bad.
True.
And I'm just going to say this. The fact that Harden and Dame are top 75 players, I'm going to get into this again, aren't I? Having Harden in there over Tony Parker, who actually was important to that Spurs team, the caliber he made, the impact. Come on.
But Harden, wait a minute. Let's stop. Don't talk about what he's quit and all of that. Just talk about his game.
Numbers.
Is Harden qualified to be in there? I'm sorry, he is.
Yeah,
I'm saying
I agree.
he is. It's just why is Parker not in it then?
But after all that, it's hard. It's
What has Parker, other than contribute to winning the championship, and it's important. I'm not taking that away from him. But in terms of can Tony Parker say that he was an elite defender, he was a NBA scoring champion, or anything of that magnitude. No, he was a key contributor. He probably was the third best player on that team.
Yeah.
Yep.
True.
So
He didn't. Yes, he did not choke though.
I mean, Harden was getting close to breaking.
I mean, when you choke, right? When you blow leads,
but that diminishes everything that he's done then. Just because
not
he
everything,
didn't,
but it should like have some sort of impact. I'm not saying like everything. I'm saying like
okay. You want to take it down a notch off of that? That's fine. Did Tony Parker elevate and was clutch to win any games for San Antonio during his career?
He was 06-07 Finals MVP.
True.
Wait,
Okay.
say it again. I'm
So
sorry, Randy. I couldn't hear you.
I said he was 06-07 Finals MVP.
So and that's what I'm saying. If we're going to sit and nitpick with Harden, because all I hear is the negative of Harden, but then I don't hear any.
Himself.
It's hard not to bring that up after all these years.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
You just want to compare on court.
I'm only hearing one side, and I'm not hearing anything for Tony Parker. The only thing I heard so far is he won championships with San Antonio. What I'm getting at is, if you're going to bring out negatives, give me negatives for Tony Parker. If you're going to give me positives for Harden, give me positives, because we're comparing. All I hear is negatives in terms of Harden. That's it. I don't hear anything about what he's accomplished, and that's not fair. And I'm trying to say, let's at least keep this fair. I get it. People don't like Harden.
All right. What has he done since 2019, Coach?
What that
Harden?
I can't sit here and tell you.
That's what this is about. This is about what has happened since 2019 with Harden. If we're going back,
you're talking about Tony Parker.
My bad. Tony Parker.
Mitch brought Tony Parker into this,
75.
and that's why I'm saying
I
you
wouldn't
have to
replace him in the top 75 with Parker. No, Harden's there.
That's my whole point.
Yeah, I agree with you, Coach.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Since 2019,
hey, Mitch, he can be number 76. Mitch Parker can be 76.
God dang.
Not 69.
See, Mitch is just so fixated because he does not like Harden. He wants to.
No, I don't mind Harden at all. I'm just
even I hate him, but I give him props for his skill.
Some players got disrespected, and I'm just voicing my opinion. I think Parker got disrespected.
But
that's
okay,
all I'm saying.
so but you're saying, when you say with that disrespect, I'm taking it that you're saying that with that disrespect, he's better than Harden. Period. Case closed.
This is great debate.
That's how you feel. That's how you feel.
Really good debate. This is what I love about debating basketball. That's why I love this podcast, because debating all this stuff is what makes it so great. That's what makes basketball so great, in my opinion.
Harden has an excellent career for what he's done, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like for the top 75, throwing some players that did some, good for their teams, that Harden quit on the championship team. Actually, he didn't quit. Did he?
You can't take him out of the 75.
Wait a minute. Because now, see, here's the thing. If you're going to do that, then why do people not spring that up about Scottie Pippen?
You got to take Dennis Rodman out of there too if you're going to talk about off-court crap. Then,
yeah. So it's like I get where you're going with Harden and the disrespect for Tony Parker. I get it. I respect that. But if you're going to do that with Harden, go through every last one of the top 75 and give me the same heat that you're giving on Harden. You got to do the same thing for every last player. I mean, let's be real. Michael Jordan, with his gambling issues during the course of the season, that should be bringing him down a notch.
There's people still saying he didn't retire.
You want to talk about Wilt and all the women that he's had in his lifetime? Why is that not
Magic?
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, if we're going to talk about the things that they've done in the negative context, then it should be everyone, and that you got to open the door for everyone. If you're going to justify saying, well, Tony Parker's being disrespected because A, B, C, D. Well, Harden, he's quit on his team. Well, Scottie Pippen told Phil Jackson, no, I ain't going back in the game. Come on, man. That's not quitting on your team.
You know what I think of when I think of Tony Parker? International flavor to the game. That's when these international players started coming in and really making an effect and changing. And now look how international the NBA is. When I think of Tony Parker, I'm like, man, we got this dude from France, and then you got the Nowitzkis, and then you got the Petroviches, and you have all these guys coming in from all over the place, where back in the day, you didn't have that. It was just people here. But now when I think of Tony Parker, I'm like, that was like the evolution of after him and all these other guys started coming in from all over the world. It was like, man, we could really improve the NBA worldwide. That's what I think of Tony Parker.
Yes. And please do not think I'm not saying, pardon me, Tony Parker doesn't deserve to be possibly on that list. He does.
He's 76. He's 76.
He does. He does. But if we're going to put him at 75, honestly, you have to go through the whole list and you have to look at who you would take off to replace him.
Yeah, we did that before.
Let's not do that again.
So
Moving on.
So
I will say I did know that James Harden had a nickname, Jimbo Slice. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like Kimbo Slice, yeah.
Yeah.
I just, honestly, as much as I put hate on Harden, I don't want anyone's legacy to end like it does. Maybe he snaps out of it, I don't know, and maybe when he goes to the Clippers or whatever and ends his career on a high note. I really hope he does.
I will say this. I think
doesn't look like it.
It's not only that in terms of what he's done in terms of, quitting on his team. It's also how he plays. There's a lot of players who question a lot of his moves, or are they legal within the context of the rules of the game?
Don't get me started
there. But then I always go back, well, damn, Michael Jordan carried his ass off. So, it's like, but again, there's guys who I've heard say that, but look at the way he played and look at the rules and he's walking and I'm like, well.
He's one of those guys that knows how to stretch the rules as far as he can. To make them work for him, and I can't blame him. Until they change the rules, why not? If we want to talk about changing rules, go ahead and talk about the damn push or whatever over there. We'll go football for a second.
Y'all got me. You got me, Mitch. You got me with this one. I thought this was a real trade.
No.
Sent me this.
I sent this to him because we've had all these Harden possible trades come through, and they're all kind of ridiculous. Or we've had a way to be like, no, or this can never happen, or that one. This to me could be one of the most realistic ones that might happen. Scroll down a little bit more, Mitch. You don't need the top part. We need the bottom of the Indiana. Our names are in the way.
There's more.
There you go.
You didn't have to zoom in.
I don't.
You didn't have to zoom back out. Zoom out.
Yeah, I only see Tobias Harris.
And now scroll down.
It's only draft picks.
It won't let me. It's a picture.
Okay. Well, then move us.
I got it. Give me a sec.
There you go.
All right.
Okay.
So it just kind of we've seen all these scenarios getting Harden somewhere, and this one kind of the most realistic, I think, because I think it benefits all three teams.
Here's the question I have for Indiana, because remember they just got Obi Toppin, so doesn't that make them 4 heavy?
Damn it, Mitch, quit fucking with it.
I'm trying to do something.
So Tobias Harris, what is Tobias Harris? Is he actually a 4 or is he a 3?
4.
So you just brought in Obi Toppin.
Could be a 3 too.
So you'd have to look at their roster to really see, is it worth it? Now Obi is not making the money, so maybe you bring him off the bench, but you kind of had that issue when you were with the Knicks with Obi and Julius. So, again, I'd have to look at their whole roster to see, who else is on that roster at the 4 spot, because that's the only thing I'm looking at right now. If you do this, it's like, well, who else is on their roster for the 4 spot if you're going to get Tobias Harris?
They also have Jordan Nwora, that he goes in that trade as well. So they'd be giving him Jordan Nwora. And then, like you said, they have Obi Toppin, coach. And then after that, it's nobody.
Okay, so then it's a good move. Okay.
Yes, I'm saying. The other ones we all could see there was holes like Swiss cheese. Like, why would this happen, or why would they do this? This one, I'm not saying it's happening or it will happen, but it seems like it might be beneficial to all three. Very skeptical about it, but not bad. Sixers are getting a lot.
You're reuniting head coach Nick Nurse with Norman Powell, and he had success with him on the way to the 2019 NBA Finals.
I like Marcus Morris as a role player too.
Marcus Morris,
TRL.
Okay, so real quick. If you're the Clippers, for the small amount of times I watched them last year, their bench was a big reason why they won. And
Yes.
with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George's, health questionable, do you really take a risk on getting rid of your entire bench for a guy who's been having a bad reputation lately?
Great point for TR. That's a great point.
Just saying.
That's
It's
good.
a good
No,
trade.
that's
It's a good trade for the Sixers bench wise. I mean, Buddy Hield, Norman Powell. I mean, Terrence Mann. It's like,
I'll take that in a heartbeat.
yeah, that's a great trade. But for the Clippers, unless they really want James Harden, you really
that's the key.
And you get a 2030 first. Yeah.
2030. My goodness, that's 7 years from now. I get it, but that's still crazy.
Yeah, if I'm the
What's
Clippers,
that guy? Cooper
If I'm
Flag?
the Clipper, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this deal.
Where's he going? Did he declare?
or you're gonna have
I
to
don't know,
give
I'm
me.
just
You're
saying
gonna
that
if I'm
maybe.
the Clippers, you probably have to try and include first round draft picks somewhere along the line, somewhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to because like TR just said, I'm gonna say always Arizona
great
just
point.
said. That's giving up a lot of your bench, and it's a valid point.
That's why I like analyzing these trades, because someone's going to come up with something that one of us didn't think of, and that's a great point by TRL. Yes, it seems to benefit the Sixers the most, so maybe I'm a little biased for it. I want it, but I just want to get rid of Harden as one. It doesn't look like he's coming
You
back.
get rid of Harden and Tobias Harris in this.
Yeah, no, get Mitch happy on
Tobias.
that.
Tobias will be gone.
But we've seen so many of these scenarios fly around. This is just one that kind of stuck out. I'd like to discuss. I'm glad we did, because I didn't think of what TRL just said. And that's a great
I
point.
also heard too, Blaze. I think I read somewhere or watched somewhere where they said that the Clippers were not wanting to give up Terrence Mann. He was apparently
Yeah, I've heard that
No.
too. But
board.
now
Yeah.
who knows? He might be on the play. I think it goes back to, like you guys are saying, do they want Harden that bad? If they do, they will do this. To get those three together and see how far they can go, maybe grab some other role players from somewhere else. We've seen other teams do that after trades, which don't look like they deplete their bench,
Yeah,
but they try to
Phoenix
fill it
did
up.
that.
Lakers have done it. Phoenix has done that. Golden State's done it, so who knows? It's exciting. It's exciting going into this NBA season. I mean, watching even preseason is getting me excited this year more than I have in the last few years for NBA.
Yeah, Sixers are on right now without Embiid and Harden.
Of course.
Yeah.
Preseason.
I mean,
Yeah. What is this one, Blaze? Maybe you can tell me.
Is it the pick your team one?
No, Dr. Pepper. It's in the chat. Dr. Pepper float. What?
Oh, I don't know.
What-
That's Big Chuck.
Is that
Big
like
Chuck
the
and
ice cream?
Angelita are having a conversation. Chuck and
Oh, I
Angelita
Oh.
they battle in the chats all the time. It's hilarious.
Oh, I
Dr.
was so
Pepper
confused.
float?
They carry on their own little conversations and shit. It's like,
Oh, that's hilarious. I'm
Look,
like, wait,
that-
what about
that's-
Dr. Pepper?
That's the ice cream soda float to me. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Oh man, I love Dr. Pepper.
Mhm.
Wait, Coach,
Pause.
didn't you send me something?
Yeah, with Larry Bird. What Larry
Yeah,
Bird
I
said.
think you texted it to me, so it's gonna take me a little bit.
Best float is a A&W root beer floats. Ever tried
Hell,
one?
got you guys.
I
Oh,
tried
I
an
can't-
It tastes like a creamsicle.
oh. I don't know if I can play it, but I can share the screen.
If need be,
Oh,
I could
okay.
probably-
Chuck said he doesn't know nothing about basketball, and then Angelia handed him a pint of ice cream to share hers, and then he wanted to make a float out of it. Okay, there we go. And there you have it. So they got their own little world going on in the chat. I love it.
Oh, you said you can't play it because I didn't even think about
I don't know
that.
if
so.
Blaze, do you think I'll be able to play it or no?
It doesn't have tons of highlights. I mean, it's just one little clip. It
No,
might
it's
not be
him.
that.
It's him talking about the game itself, and how a lot of old school guys talk about in their day, and so on and so forth. And he's basically saying that today's game is in a good place.
Wow.
Basically alluding to the older guys. Look, stop it. This game is in a great place. He loves it. And to the young guys, keep doing what you're doing. Just in the end, leave the game the same way you found it when you came in.
Amen. Well said by the bird, man.
Well said, yeah.
And coach, yeah. I agree, man. Too many people want to
We all do. Yeah, I get it.
I know knock this and that. Oh, back then, or this guy. I'm seeing these things going around. These are the 10 guys nowadays that would stop Jordan. These are the 10 guys that would stop Shaq back in it. Get the hell out of here with that shit. Quit comparing that.
We all do. We just did it.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
just did it.
It's good
with the
debate,
era.
but it's
debate
like,
on it.
but when you're taking era versus era, it's like and we've discussed this week after week, weekend after weekend. The game has changed too much to compare what it was like in the 70s and 80s to now.
Mhm.
But I still loved it then, and I love it now. I don't agree with some of the rule changes. I wish they would tighten up some things, but that's not my decision to make. I just love the game.
Anyone's decision.
I think it's the most exciting sport on TV right now. Football is great, but I think basketball, to me, is the most exciting sport to watch start to finish.
Definitely.
Now you have lulls in baseball, but baseball is a very a mindful game as well. It's great to watch in a different light. Soccer is huge, and I love football, but basketball is the most exciting from start to finish.
Halftime too,
because you can make fun of them.
I can agree with you on a certain extent, Blaze, but hockey is the same though too. Because as soon as that puck drops, it's nonstop until the whistle blows, man.
Do you really want me to go there?
I'm just gonna say this, right?
I think hockey's the toughest sport to play.
Yeah,
I think that is.
When it comes to the internet and sports, I feel like basketball's one and football's right behind it.
Yeah.
Whoa, you just opened up
I do wish I know it's because of money.
Hockey is the toughest?
Oh, I thought you were talking about what I said.
No.
Have you ever been on skates, Coach?
Yes, and my fat ass will not get back on skates again.
Exactly.
Okay?
That's what I'm
No.
I'm talking about difficulty of doing what they do on the skates. That's it.
Okay.
Not getting beat up like football. Is that where you're going?
Sure. The point is, you have guys your size, guys Mitch size, going up against guys my size who are 400 pounders. No, just running full speed. And that cycle, I get you with hockey. Yes, it is tough. They're both tough. But that's my point. That's tough in different perspectives. You can't say one is tougher than the other. Hell, boxing is tough. You purposefully having another man hit you in your damn face.
I'm saying difficulty.
Imagine taking an elbow to your face.
Tough. Okay, tough was the wrong word to use.
Yeah.
Okay.
Difficulty of performing.
Fair. That's fair.
Difficulty of performing, I guess. Because I'm not really a big hockey fan. I think watching it is horrendous because 70% of the time it's out of control.
Agreed.
Basketball is almost always the ball is in control. In hockey, you got bounce there. It's bouncing there. You got to spin around to go back around. If you miss a puck, you got to skate all the way fucking back around to get the puck. The puck
high endurance. You got to have hand-eye coordination.
Yeah,
that's all there too. So that's
back to the difficulty. It's tough to watch though. Where's the puck at? It's tough to watch.
It's different, though. It's different when you grew up around it and you literally put your ass.
My brother, trust me, I've had this argument with my brother.
It's completely different. It's completely different.
That's why I didn't even want to go there. I don't want to go there.
Playing outside when it's minus 35 and you don't have equipment on and you're picked as the goalie because you're the biggest guy and you got to take pucks in the gut and stuff. You don't care because it's fun.
Hey, poor people can't play hockey either. You know why? No. That shit's expensive. You can't. If you don't have money, how do you play hockey?
It's super expensive to play hockey.
It's so expensive to be a kid and a family to be able to afford. Football's tough too because you got a lot of
no.
Stuff
Football's expensive too because with youth football, how many times we've had to do fundraisers for families who couldn't afford to let their kids get the money to get the equipment.
I'm not saying that.
So they're all different. They're all
just like I don't like comparing eras. I don't want to compare sports either. That's just my personal preference. That's just me. I'm basketball and football all over.
Yeah,
it's my two favorites.
Look, basketball to me is a lot more athletic, if you want to say. It's more creative in motion. Because I admit, jumping in the air and doing some of the things like watching MJ when he played the Lakers going down the lane and he went up with the right hand and moved it back over to the left hand and flicked it. Dr. J going around underneath the baseline and starting one side of all of that. Basketball is this.
You ain't got no pads in basketball either.
Hockey, you got to sit there, the puck coming at you Next Shift said, the hand-eye coordination. Same thing with baseball.
Yeah,
hand-eye coordination.
I'm sorry I opened this can of worms.
No, I love it because you could find
players playing with injuries. Like you've seen it through hockey for ages, guys with their jaws broken and they just come out with a mask on and they just keep playing. A guy, Stefan Roboda for the Dallas Stars, go search him. He broke his jaw and he came out the next two periods and the game happened to go into overtime. So he ended up playing 4 extra periods with a broken jaw and a player played with a broken fibula, like just being shot up. It's crazy intense But I agree. All sports are great, crazy, and aggressive in their own sense. Like Coach said, when it comes to like a guy looking like Mitch size being smoked by a guy like Coach's size, and then like you said, there's like guys like TRL that can come down the court and don't do anything and can be lights out from three. So it's like it's all different. And for me, it's hard to put one sport above the other. I just love grouping them all in one.
Fair. That's why it's the Pick and Roll podcast, not the Slap Shot podcast. But I'm sorry.
Forgetting about a sport.
Bring us back in, Mitch. Reel us back into hoops.
What sport?
Well, soccer.
Well, I have Arku.
Come
Soccer.
on.
I mean, I
call it kickball. I piss off all the soccer fans. I say, what? It's called kickball.
I hate watching it, but I respect for what they do.
Me too,
Countless
yeah.
Up and down the field, 45 minutes ahead.
Stamina. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Look,
It's the biggest sport in the world next to cricket. That and cricket.
Look, all I can say is I
What
played
about,
soccer.
But this is pick and roll. Let's get back to hoops.
Actually, I think that was it. I was going to end it off that.
You don't have my pick your 5? You didn't get that one?
Let me look.
It was a pick. It was an overall like point guard, center, forward, and you pick your starting 5. I was real interested to see who would pick what starting 5.
I don't think I got it.
Oh, of course. And on that note, thanks everybody for.
And on that note,
It's it.
Yeah, I don't think I got it. I'm looking at it right now.
I can get it.
Oh
to
wait.
you
Oh, which generation?
not
you
which.
talking about?
No. I don't think that's it. Here it is. Let me send it to you.
Did you know Arku has a brother too?
Ash. Maybe
Damn,
that
the
was.
Braves scored.
Yeah, but it's over. The inning's over. You're good.
Mitch, come on now.
What?
7-2, bro.
Dude.
No.
All right, it's one we can save for next week. I'll find it.
Oh, it's because you blew a 4-0 lead last time.
Ooh, bum bum bum.
Something just came up on my phone. It says it's basketball related. It says Miles Bridges is facing a warrant, apparently criminal summons for allegedly
Oh my
violating a
God.
protective order. He has yet to be served. Woj just broke it.
Wow. Wow.
I picked him.
I don't get these guys. I really don't get it. When you have an order of protection, it's very simple. I get if you have kids, you got to go through the court system. It's just that simple, man. You're talking about guys making millions of dollars, throwing it away because you know what, your ego. And that's really what it boils down to. You know, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that because someone's telling me not. Well, hello. You put yourself in this position, number one. Number two, if that's what the rules say, play by the rules. Otherwise, take your ass to jail and get in a damn jail cell and deal with that. I don't have it's stupidity to me.
It is.
It is.
Mitch, if you have the generation one, since we kind of were talking generations, let's compare generations. I'm interested to see which ones you guys would pick.
He was also given a second chance to coach by the Charlotte Hornets as well, but and they even I think they gave him like an extent like a contract and a bonus or something because he's like I went through you guys' process. I did everything you guys said in the offseason because he was just going to be suspended for the first, I think, 8 games of the season, and that was going to be it. And his suspension was going to be completed. And then now this isn't going to look good in front of Mr. The head honcho there.
Yeah.
I always say don't compare errors, but let's compare errors. Which one?
Oh, wow.
These are the greatest players of all time, basically, in their eras.
Wait a minute. You put Wilt and Russell on the same.
Now I didn't make this. I just found it. I'm just saying. If this is the picture, we're not talking. These are the 5 best.
Blake made it.
Okay, I made it. We're not talking. Let's take out that these are the 5 best. We're not moving anybody in or out. If this was your option, which era do you choose? That's it. That's the whole thing. There's no scenario or anything other than that. No people moving in and out. If you could pick one, which one do you pick?
I gotta look at this.
That 90s though is tough.
I know. That's probably where I
The
am.
only
Because
thing
I can't
is
not
the
pick Mike.
3-point to shoot. It's the 3-point shooting with them because
If the game was in the 90s, I would take the 90s. I guess we got to look at it that way. Because
See, the
nowadays
80s
shooting of
80s,
now, no, you're in trouble with those five.
80s, 90s. Bird can still
We're gonna
take
be here all
Barkley.
day.
Yeah, these are the greatest players.
Malone, and
there's no wrong
Hakeem would
answer.
watch out.
Okay, 2010.
I like the thousands too. The thousands are dope too, man. I can't argue with that team, man. Can you imagine those five
Shaq,
playing?
Duncan, Bird, oh my gosh.
Shaq,
Damn.
Duncan, LeBron, Kobe, and Iverson. I might have to go there, even though Mike's on the one above him.
Paj said 2000s.
Is anybody picking?
Yeah,
the
but
10s?
they don't have 3-point shooting. Well, consistent 3-point shooting on the two. Well, Kobe can. I mean, you can take Stockton and MJ for the outside, but then they could really hit you down low.
You're
I'm
adding
taking the
scenario,
10s.
though. You're adding today's 3-point shooting to this scenario. This is just which
You're
generation
thinking
would win.
2010s?
Don't think about playing it right now, Coach. Just think about it.
No, I'm
overall.
not. What I'm
Because if you're
saying
picking
is,
it now, you're right. There isn't very much
No,
3-point shooting in
because-
90s and beyond.
but no, it's not even that. It's you would pound them down low, collapse the defense, and MJ and Stockton would be sitting wide open
True.
with 3-pointers. Because Barkley, Malone, Akeem with the dream shake, man,
Yeah.
Akeem used to kill Shaq with that dream shake.
No wrong answer. Is the 2010s the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the sixth one? Would you put them on the bottom if you were going to rank them?
Too, because I still like the 60s. Oscar Robertson at that point guard. I mean,
Jerry West, Oscar.
Clyde Frazier. They played defense back then. They really, but now they had the hand check rule, and with the hand check rule, they used to squeeze your midsection. So not just push you, they would squeeze it. So
There you go, Angelita. We need to play it out on 2K and let the AI decide who wins. There's no wrong answer. This is how great NBA has been for so long.
I'm going 80s.
I'm going 90s. I'm going 90s.
I thought I was going to take 90s because of Mike, and I love Barkley, but that 2000s team is dope. All five.
I know, but the pick and roll with Stockton and Malone,
First and foremost, what rules? Because if you're playing the 10s against the 90s or the 80s, they could take you down low and just foul you out.
Yeah, true.
KD is not going to stop Mikal with his moves, with his up and unders. Hell no. Hell no. And Bird would look at Harden and just laugh at him and just say, "Stay over there, little boy," and just shoot right in his face.
This is why I love NBA right here. This is why I love basketball. Look at all these years, the decades of these great players that have kept this sport, even as it evolved and changed and grew worldwide. How great this sport is! I love basketball.
That's a good
now. What would the bench look like? I'm just kidding.
Oh God, we'll do that next week. We'll do that.
That's another show, folks.
Well,
just looking at this picture made me go. Now, this is why I love NBA so much.
Yep, I'm going 80s.
You're taking the 80s.
Yep.
There's no wrong answer, like I said. Even the 70s.
Okay, then I'm
going
50s.
Because Dr. J is my man too. So
wait,
there's
I'm
no
going
wrong
50s.
But Magic still though. Magic is 6'9". Yeah, MJ could still try and guard him, but Magic still would take him down low.
Yeah, but
I'm taking
the 50s.
Who's going to be in the 20s? Once again, same question from the other one. You you got to have Giannis and Jokic. Who knows? Luka, maybe. Who knows?
SGA,
Shea, Booker.
Yeah, that's another one because you got 7 years left for these players to blow up and coming out.
Victor Wembanyama.
It could be
God, too early.
It could be Cooper Flag by the end of the 30s, 20s if he comes through. Who knows?
It could be Cooper Flag. It could be.
We got to find out where he's going to school first.
Rice,
he hasn't declared yet, I don't think.
Could be great.
It could be
Oh, another homer.
Boomer.
Who hit
Turner.
Turner with the homer.
Oh my gosh.
Just don't blow the lead this time, guys.
Hey, go easy on us, all right, Phillies?
It's the bottom of the sixth. So you're right. Don't blow this.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Don't blow it. You said don't blow it.
Pause. Yeah.
All right. On that note,
let's not get off the rails.
That concludes the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode number 43. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. Appreciate Next Shift, Coach Ed, Blaze, and TRL. And on that, you guys got anything to say before we head on out?
Fuck Luca.
Hey, he
You
might.
want me
You
to
never
say-
know. He
Well,
might
there you
swing
go.
that. He might be down
Mitch,
for
you
that.
want me to say it or just no?
What?
What I
Say it.
text you earlier today,
Played hard.
or not today, yesterday,
Where's my? Hold on.
Got
let
his
me
super
look.
ties.
about
Jokic,
me,
Giannis.
about me. I'm talking about me,
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
guys. Don't. I'm gonna be taking a break from all type of podcasting, videos, whatever, to focus on my family. Everybody, though, seriously, I said it last night on Heart of the City. Seriously, man, protect your families. You know, sports is a great thing. This social media is a great thing, but it should always be about your family first and foremost.
Yeah.
And protect your families at all costs by any means necessary. And I'm dead serious. I'm not joking. So, and I'm taking my time to focus on my family and to protect my family because my family means everything to me. So, not saying you guys don't. I do consider you guys family, but you know, when it comes to my parents, my siblings, my kids, my grand, you know, I gotta be there for them. So, and then whenever I get things situated, I'll be back. I don't know how long it'll be, but I'll be back.
We'll be here for you, my man, and we got thoughts and prayers for you and your family. Anything you
Yeah, I
need,
appreciate
the
it.
hardcore sports family's here for you too, brother.
I know. I
Yep.
appreciate
And
it.
that shows a real man down there that's willing to give up this to take care of what's really more important. So, amen, Coach.
Yep.
We got you.
I
Yep.
appreciate and love you guys. So thank you.
Yep. Appreciate having you. Mitch, do you have a? No, I do not. All right. On the
Any update on the SeatGeek thing yet, Mitch?
still working on that.
Okay.
Stay tuned.
Yep. Stay tuned, guys. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and we're out.
Adios.
Peace.